A little while ago, we were talking about Bernard Pollard, and now I think we're just playing a game in this studio where we're just naming safeties.
Yeah.
Kind of like the 90s baseball player game, just to bring smiles on each other's face. Like a couple minutes ago, I just blurted out Brock Marion.
Great one.
Reference.
And it made a few people happy.
Yep. Bob Sanders.
Yeah, he was early in the list.
Classic.
I told,
It's a fun game. Yeah,
I told Chris, hey,
Donnie Shell.
This is a sentence that left my mouth. Chris, if you want to see good safety play, there was an Orange Bowl, USC versus Iowa,
right,
where Troy and Bob just went after
And
it.
I said, what a coincidence. I was just thinking, man, this weekend I want to just watch some good safety play.
Love
Love
right. It's very cathartic.
Mhm.
Yeah. Adam Archuleta. Not a good safety, though.
No, but a great name and a
Thank
name.
you.
He had a run.
A name alone sounds like he should be better.
Adam was
right?
Adam was a good safety for a few years.
Right. Are you guys intrigued at all? I'm watching I'm distracted today because I'm watching the Open Championship. Golf has been it's divided.
Brandon Merriweather.
That's a good one. Did someone say Brock Marion?
Yeah, that's where this whole that was a gambit.
Hey, listen, I'm struggling with memory as I get older.
But you're like me, Stugotz, though. You love a good 8 in the box.
I do love a
Eight
good
men
8 in the box.
is good.
Yeah, I do.
Keanu Neal.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Jeremiah Bell.
Oh,
Why Bell?
I think that's
Why
kicking him
Bell?
out right now.
Heavy hitter. I mean, he can dish it
Jeremiah
out.
Bell.
Chris Dishman.
The rare good
good one.
37.
Thank you.
Jeremiah Bell. You don't see a lot of good 37s.
Is he the best 37 of all
Rodney
time?
Harrison's got to
Rodney
be up there
Harrison.
as well.
Two
That's
safeties
pretty
at
good.
37.
Yeah.
7's not a good number.
Sean
Seven's a
Alexander.
great number.
Maybe
That's
this is a different a conversation for a different day, but that's like 27, 17, 37. No, these are bad numbers. These are the worst jersey numbers in every sport.
Why?
There, I said it. It's my opinion.
Mike
Could be
Brown.
wrong.
Mike Brown. That dude was a turnover ball hawk. That guy was just great in the secondary.
Was he
That
really?
Bears team had no business being that good with Jim Miller and Shane Matthews.
Now I'm looking up safeties.
77's actually decent for offensive
No, you
line.
can't cheat. You can't Google safeties.
I mean,
The whole game is to put a smile on other people's face because you had a deep pool.
but then I get to Eric Weddle. I mean,
You
go.
can't do that.
sorry. All right, I'll listen.
Close it.
I will.
Always listening.
I'm sorry. Jack Tatum.
You're turning into Mad Dog.
It's right before I closed it. I'd be happy turning into Mad Dog. What, are you kidding me? Been trying to turn into Mad Dog my entire life. Are you guys, because Mike, I am super happy that you've turned into a golf fan. Like, Mike loves golf.
Yes.
Loves
So
to
much
watch
so
golf,
that
loves
I
to
looked
play
at
golf.
St. Andrews, how I'm like,
Right.
easy course.
Easy.
I could pull at least maybe 2 pure bogeys there.
Right. No, you couldn't.
What? You don't think so?
No.
Without wide those fairways are?
It's a
Come on.
really tough course.
I bring out the boomstick, get a nice little roll.
It's a very tricky course, Mike.
The putts do seem a little maddening because they just miss by a little, and that shit scoots about 50 yards.
Yes.
I'll give you one genuine bogey.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
You give Mike one natural bogey at St. Andrews, the home of golf.
Hey, even a blind squirrel.
I mean, he did do it at Edgewood. He had a natural bogey. That's a very difficult
We were actually
course.
talking in the kitchen. I think I might have had
Yeah,
2 natural
you were saying
bogeys.
that. Mike's trying to work it into 2
No,
natural
because I think the
bogeys.
par 3,
How?
the par 3 on 17 that we used my tee.
I don't remember if you
Oh, I think he's right, Chris.
Did he get in 3? He had to get home in
We
3
used
from
his
there.
tee shot, and then
That's
we all had to
that's
putt it out
par.
from there.
Chipped it up,
Yeah.
and then you 2-putted? That's what you would have
Yeah.
had to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember.
He had a
think so.
couple of
I was too busy
bogeys.
funneling a beer.
Yeah.
that
Mike,
thought
I
was
was
a beer,
really
but
proud
it
of
was
you.
a seltzer.
I'm really
man.
proud of you because when I remember seeing you guys first get there and you were on the driving range, there was a shot that you kind of shanked in the
was
in the
bad.
opening round of.
I saw that video. I'm like, that's a bad
I had a
looking
couple of
drive.
people text me like, "Hey, is Mike doing a bit?" And I'm like, "No, he's just learning." I didn't say you were bad. I said you were learning.
That was my
wanna
first
see the
time
real
swinging.
text.
That
What'd
was,
you really
that was
say?
my first time swinging in the club in 2022.
So I'm proud of you that you actually
Thanks,
bogeyed
man.
a really tough
Thanks.
Show Chris Cody the real text. I mean,
Thanks, man. Mine was a story that I hope throngs of fans can draw inspiration from. Yes, I was embarrassed on the internet by my swing, and then Jay Billis told me, "Hey, ball higher," and then my swing started looking all right at like a after once we got to the back 9.
Mike,
All
you
hires are
played
good.
well. You did. Based on expectations, you played very well.
The funniest-
I was the one who disappointed.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Just because they expect.
No,
you
I
to play
did.
well.
No, I did.
The
I'm not
funniest-
happy about
The
it.
funniest part was afterwards, the reaction, and I guess I'm spoiling what might come out in our video production and whatever Tyler's working on.
Right.
Mike was just like, "How about me?" doing what I did. Like he acted like what he did.
How about me?
He was just like, man, I did this for the people out there.
Did
Like
this for
he
you.
acted like it was such a courageous thing. It's
was.
like you played one of the nicest golf courses in America.
Yeah, it's a great suffering. It's a great suffering to be subject, to willingly be
He
subject
wants to go
public
out there
shame.
for a week next year.
Also, I think it's time that I announce tomorrow. Thank you for all the super follows. I'm going to be playing golf with 2 randomly selected super followers tomorrow.
Really?
Yep, that's part of the perks.
What are you
Occasionally-
talking about?
Occasionally, I'm going to do the draw right
I
now.
won?
Okay.
Yep. Chris Cody and Sheets and Giggles.
Oh,
Congratulations.
wow.
Mike, can you explain to
Randomly
me
generated.
the Twitter super follower? Because my kids are going to be going off to college soon. I'll be an empty nester.
Right.
My wife doesn't want to spend any time with me. Happy anniversary, honey. I love you too.
All right, I appreciate the shot at redemption.
It is
Do
today.
you know the
yes.
last 4 digits of your social security number?
I have no idea.
I did not slur there. I've been practicing. Yeah.
Can you explain this to me?
I should have
Because
said Soch in that moment.
should
That's
have.
the place to go to. You sound like an idiot, but yeah.
Because you could
The
see like
Soch.
the slowdown before the slur was like, do you know? Like it was right before because I saw Social Security. I was going for it. Once again, a story that throngs of our fans can take inspiration from.
Oh, Jesus. Tony, did you show him the text? I want to see the real
it was
text.
a phone call. It was actually a phone call. Yeah, it was a phone call.
Oh, now it was a phone
yeah,
call.
yeah, because I checked
Right.
through. It was my brother who plays
Yeah.
golf and mentioned to me. He's like, "Hey, Mike swing," and we were on the phone. And I was like, "Hey,
Right.
he's learning."
There's a lot of people that had
Learning.
opinions on my swing that don't play golf.
Exactly.
Or it's hard to put yourself out there. I don't play enough to be good at it.
I
And I,
woke up-
I had to sit my wife down. I was like, honey, look,
Like, honey, sit down.
sit down, honey.
Literally sit down.
I want to get good at golf. And for me to get good at golf, I'm going to have to go out with the boys.
Yep.
You're going to have to understand
Oh,
that.
I see what you're doing there.
But it's a big
It
sacrifice,
is.
dude. I got a 2.5-year-old. It's not something that I can
It's a commitment.
really.
Think about all
it's
the
a big
business- think
sacrifice
about-
that I'm
It's a
making
big
for my
commitment.
game.
It's a big time commitment.
Think about all
It
the
is.
business connections you can make down the road if you improve your golf game.
It's an
It's
investment.
not for you.
It's an investment.
Yes.
Right. So once again, me talking to my wife, convincing her that I need to be playing more golf on the weekends with the boys.
With the boys, though.
Once again, another story that throngs of our fans can take inspiration from.
Did you tell her
Mike's on
that
a roll.
before or after the Inter Miami game last night?
I told her that. Well, I wasn't home at all yesterday because I had to drive up to
Jesus.
Fort
coming.
Pierce.
Honey, Bimmel's coming. It's a work thing.
Yeah. No, I told her before
How far
yesterday.
is Fort Pierce?
I had the conversation 2 days ago that, honey,
Fort Pierce.
sit down. I want to get good at golf. I've spent a lot of money. I've lost a lot of balls. I need to get good at this. I'm getting embarrassed out there. People are dragging my swing. I'm not going to get a better swing if I don't play more. And she's like, she wasn't super receptive to it. But then I randomly selected 2 super followers that I was going to play golf with. And this morning I was like, honey, can I play golf tomorrow with the boys?
Right.
She allowed
It's for
it.
the golf thing.
It's for the golf thing.
Right.
But that's why I try to already convince Chris Cody, hey, can we do best ball? Because I got to be home.
Chris is one of the boys?
Yeah, well, randomly selected.
Randomly
I just
Oh,
found out.
wow.
Yeah, randomly
Congratulations,
selected.
Chris. I mean,
Super follow. Unfortunately, Sheets and Giggles is the 3rd guy in our crew. But hey, it's random.
I will commend Mike for. Mike knew he was stepping into something where most of the people there are, I want to say, average to very good golfers. And Mike knows he's a below average golfer.
He's learning.
Yeah. I'm very
but no,
transparent
Mike,
about how bad I think I
I'm
am.
trying to commend you here. Stepping into that environment can be very daunting. I played golf my entire life. Sometimes I play it well, most of the times I don't. I'm nervous stepping into that environment.
Can I keep it mad
Chris
real with
Cody
you?
was nervous last year. Greg Cody was nervous last year.
I was nervous I
So,
didn't
Mike,
even
Mike, I'm commending you
Yeah.
because you stepped into an environment that was televised, cameras everywhere, knowing that your game's not that great, and yet you performed well. You really did.
Sounds like you're taking
Yeah.
inspiration from my story, and I,
am.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Let me just tell you like one
I
anecdote,
might become a super follower. I mean,
if you know how to do it.
I don't
Do you know the last 4 digits of social?
know. Well,
All right. So at 17,
I think Tahoe is still kicking both of our asses. dude.
at 17 it's a party hole. But normally people start at hole number 1 and they work themselves up to 17. We started at what? 13?
Yeah.
So I was
Tricky,
shit.
by the way.
I
Yeah.
was shit for the first 3 holes. The hole right before 17, I straight up lost my ball, and I was being heckled by fans in a gallery. And I went to a ball thinking it was my ball, and they would let me know, it's not your ball, idiot. Like, it was bad.
I didn't know if it was your ball and they were just messing with you.
I couldn't tell.
So Mike was just
I hit it that bad. So I'm like,
just.
it was like a Pro V. I was just like, I'll leave it, whatever. And so we then walked to hole 17.
He bought the most expensive balls you could buy.
You bought Pro Vs?
Yeah, sucker. At the club. Yeah,
and they gave us
like
free
200%
balls.
market.
I mean, they gave us free balls.
Yeah, well, the free balls were a surprise at the bottom of the bag.
Yes.
I walked back with like 3 sleeves of Pro Vs, and then Stugotz just has these 2 boxes of free balls. It would have been helpful if it was brought to my attention yesterday.
I didn't know you were buying Pro Vs.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I
When in Rome, yeah.
what in Rome?
Thankfully, I didn't lose those balls. There were certain like hazard holes that I was like, this one says Doral on it. We're gonna use this one.
You didn't get the search team that the Miz did on that one hole.
Oh my
Remember
God.
Oh Jesus! Enough of the
what
Miz.
happened?
The
Hold on,
Miz
what happened?
lost
What
his
happened?
ball in the rough in one hole, and everyone came out of the woodworks. There was 42 people. Mike had lost his ball in every hole, no one helping him. And then the one time the Miz was right, dude, there was 17 people in the like walking.
Did they
around,
find
like,
it?
No.
No one found it. No one will ever find
took a
that ball.
drop.
I mean, and Tony, there were caddies walking over from other holes trying to help out the Miz.
I didn't know where all these
Seriously.
people came from. But on 17, after I'd lost my ball, got heckled, I'm just all over the place. You walk to 17, there's a DJ blasting, and the fans are surrounding the hole. It's a par 3. It's not that difficult of a hole if you hit it
party
right.
hole, though.
But I got zero confidence. I go up to this tee shot, and this is a hole that you got hit on by Ray. Ray Romano struck you with a ball at this hole.
Yes, he
Right.
So all I see next to me is people, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill somebody.
If you slice it, somebody will die.
Someone is gonna die. I went up to that box, and I was the first one to tee off, and my hands were shaking.
Were they really?
Shaking is one of the most nervous things I've ever encountered.
Wow.
I was terrified I was gonna hit somebody. And thankfully,
We used his ball.
we used my ball on the
Really?
drive.
Off the
I know.
tee?
Yeah,
It
off
was
the
deep.
tee.
He hit
No, he
it
hit
straight.
an incredible
I hit it
shot.
straight.
He was
Yeah.
over the green, like barely.
Over the
They were
green. Yeah,
chipping
just
off
at the edge.
green.
Just at the edge.
It's a beautiful shot.
So
Yeah.
people that didn't know who you
hit a
were
driver.
and what you were
No,
doing
I got
3
claps.
years
Like,
right.
yeah, good shot.
So
He
3
did.
holes older, they had no idea. And all of a sudden, they're like, hey, this guy Mike Ryan.
So there you
Not
go.
It
bad.
was a wood, right?
It was a driver. Yeah.
No, it wasn't a driver. It was a wood.
Then he
It was
putted
three
with
I
wood.
think it was
Yeah.
138 yards.
3 wood.
How long?
Bogey.
Nice.
Yeah, 138, 3 wood.
Let it rip.
But, you know.
Nice and easy.
He
Like
had
a
another
quarter
did.
swing.
Yeah,
No, he
another
did let it
story.
rip. Yeah.
Mike
Yeah,
found
I'm
it.
sorry. That throngs of our fans can
Mike
take
found it
inspiration
with
from.
like the 3/4 swing. So
Yeah.
he was using the wood a lot from like
Oh, yeah.
close because he just found that nice little.
It was that beer
half
hole.
swing.
That was that beer hole where people were
yeah.
like, "What is this guy
Oh,
going
yeah.
for?"
Nobody's used the wood from here all day, buddy.
Tony, what Mike's
Nice and
become
easy.
very good at is he will take a half swing on a wood and just kind of roll it right up there. It's
Ooh,
like,
nice, like a
and he
little
does
grounder.
he does it very well.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a little embarrassing on
Yeah.
the approach, but I can't really hit my wedges all that well, and I know that.
And your clubs are fitted, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
Game changer, right?
Yeah, much better. I
Yeah.
only swung over the ball twice. Yet another story that throngs of our
Eyeball.
listeners can take inspiration from. And those don't count, by the way. We don't count those.
The thing we
Practice swings.
failed to discuss about Tahoe was I think the three of us, me, you, and Chris, I'm not certain if Lewis cared or had the same reaction. I was outraged, unreasonably outraged that Tony Romo won that thing. It drove me crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much, but a little inside baseball is you have some of the biggest celebrities on the planet, like Justin Timberlake, really taking part in all the activities.
He was on the show.
Tony is just built a little bit different, and I guess he's
Thank
ultra
you.
competitive. He's like a 3-time winner of the thing now,
Right.
but he doesn't really mingle. He's not really out there.
That's why I was
I don't-
outraged.
The only time that I've seen Tony Romo is literally when he's on the course playing the 18.
We go to the players' meeting the night before. Kelsey's there hanging out. Aaron Rodgers
It's a who's
is there
who. Justin
hanging out.
Timberlake's
Timberlake's there hanging
Nick
out.
Jonas,
Heckling.
Ray
Nick
Romano.
Jonas, right? But
Brewster
Tony,
from Top Gun Maverick.
Rob
but
Riggle.
Romo has no time to hang out with the other players, hang out with any media members. He doesn't partake in any of the events. And that's I wanted Mark Mulder to win. I didn't know who the other guy was. There were 3 guys playing in a playoff. It was a hockey player, I think, a baseball
God bless
player,
him.
Mulder. Yeah. But I was outraged that Romo won. I didn't want him to win. I don't like him.
Well, that's weird because you're the biggest Romo guy there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, if Justin Timberlake think like I'm coming here to hang out with people, hey Romo, come hang out with
You can
people.
do
Exactly.
that.
Who are you? Who do
You
you
can miss a
think
players
you are?
only. You can miss a players only meeting. Mahomes miss a players only meeting. There's a couple people that miss a players only.
But
meeting.
he's Mahomes.
But it's just the mingling. Yeah, Mahomes was having fun with the crowd at the tournament. Romo, for as fun as he is
Nothing.
on broadcast,
Nothing.
not really exciting on the golf course. He's there to win it, and maybe there's something to it because he's won the thing 3 times.
Mahomes is signing footballs, throwing them into the crowd. Josh Allen doing the same thing. Kelsey's high-fiving everyone. Everyone's having a blast. Everyone's taking that 3-point shot. And the only guy who's not partaking in any of it is Tony Romo. And he wins. Now, perhaps that's the reason he won, because he was focused, but I didn't like it. I'm telling you.
Have some fun.
I can't believe I found myself in a spot where I'm rooting for Mark Mulder to do anything.
I can't believe how quickly you have turned on Tony Romo.
Just at that event.
Tiger winning the drink first hole.
Oh, geez.
Oh,
Is
he's
he-
done?
Yeah,
Can we get-
that was like something I would have done on the first fairway.
Can we get Stugotz on the record?
Yet
Because
another story that throngs of our listeners can take inspiration from.
My God.
I want I want everyone to know what you think Tiger's going to do, because this is viewed as his last great chance, if there is any such thing for him the rest of the way. And you said something that you thought, I want to push you out onto the
fine.
ledge
Yeah.
and tell me what you think is going to happen here. I also want to find out if you guys couldn't believe how big Josh Allen was, how physically large he is.
He is a big man, but I got to tell you, the most impressive quarterback body to me was Aaron Rodgers.
Incredible.
Yeah,
That
I was
big,
blown
Mike?
away by how big he has gotten. He's in
Ripped.
the best shape of his life. Josh, he doesn't wear these like form-fitting clothes, and you know he's a big guy. He's out there, and he's the same size as Travis Kelce.
Rogers was showing it off.
Yeah, Rogers
Yes.
was really showing it off. And Harrison Smith, this amazing safety for the Vikings, that guy
Still
has
thinking about the way
shoulders
he
like
looks.
a park bench.
That dude just has it all together.
He really
Rocks
does.
Yeah.
the long pants, showing his ankles. He just does
I
all
love
the
that.
stuff, all the
I-
cool stuff.
Yeah, I was crawling through a desert thirsty for Harrison
I could
Smith.
just be
I'm telling you
someone.
right now.
If I could
Really?
just
I
be
was
someone,
crawling
guy.
through a
Harrison
desert thirsty.
I was making fun of him the entire weekend. I mean,
He's a good golfer.
okay,
What
if
were
you
you
say
making
so.
fun of him about?
Harrison Smith. I mean,
the fact that he was there, like
Yes.
his name not
Yeah.
deserving, but he's a good safety.
He's a really good safety. If you look at like how good he
It's-
is at his job
He's not
compared
deserving.
to how good John O'Hurley is at his job.
You were
Let's leave him
there.
out of that.
Well, no, but we're
yeah,
not in
we're
the
a
main
practice
tournament.
round. We're not in the main tournament.
Stugotz
you
is
know?
saying he's a Thursday guy.
He is.
He
should be
in
with
the-
us.
No, man. No.
I'm not saying it's Stugotz.
This is the
You
con.
said he wanted-
Thanks,
you
Chris.
said you wanted to be
I
there.
do. I still do.
This is the
I wanna
con of
be him, be
offensive
him.
football. This is a con of offensive-minded football. It's a shame. Harrison Smith is excellent, and he looks like a dish, best served hot.
On the record, Stugotz, what's going to happen with Tiger Woods here? Because you were going to claim that you said that whatever happens with Tiger, you're going to say
Right.
that that's what you said was going to happen. So I want it on the record.
Well, I'm on the record on Twitter because I tweeted out before the round he was going to shoot a 67 today. Now, his round just got underway. I feel like, Dan, I've got a feeling on Tiger because this is the home of golf. Now, I know he's in the drink on one, and that's problematic, okay?
But your analysis,
We're not off to a good start, but
your analysis
Yes.
is you've got a feeling.
I've got a feeling. We're at the home of golf, okay? 150
It's
years
just- It's truly terrible
We're at-
analysis.
we're
It's- but it is. I think you'd agree.
let
that
me
it's-
finish the analysis,
okay,
then.
I will. I will. But just tell me. Just admit that it's truly terrible analysis.
So far, it is, yes.
And does his second shot affect your feeling?
It does a little bit. I got to be honest. I want to take the tweet back. I'm thinking about deleting it.
I meant 77, typo, buddy.
Thank you. How'd he play? I got a feeling, Dan.
You mentioned that
There it
already.
is.
It's a wet feeling now because my ball's in the water.
Oh yeah.
You've got a feeling is not helpful.
With everything swirling around golf right now, with Liv, with Tiger coming out and making a statement, that was the statement off the course. I feel like Tiger's going to make a statement on the course. He hasn't played in a bit. He's been over in England and Europe practicing for this event. No cameras around. I love that.
There have been plenty of
It's
cameras
like Rocky
around.
IV. I mean, he went to Siberia.
Why
okay?
does this fool you every time?
What do you mean?
love
Went to St.
mentioning-
Andrews.
No, you love mentioning. This is
went
one
to
of,
Scotland.
It's one of your favorite bits of analysis.
It's a great
Yeah.
suffering.
He
No
went
cameras
there
around.
to
Yet another
practice.
story that throngs of our listeners can
Yeah.
take inspiration from.
Yeah. And listen, I love when a guy cares so much about a major that he'll get there a month in advance to get the game ready.
For
It's
his Scottish
not a month.
vacation.
Quit
To
making
put the
it.
second in the drink. I mean,
you are so full of shit here. First of all, we're getting inundated, okay? This is not me saying it.
right.
It's not.
Yeah.
But people are saying that the more we talk golf with you,
Yes.
the more it gets exposed that you seem to be pretending to love golf, or you don't love golf as much. You don't watch as much golf as you say that you watch. You're getting accused of things publicly based on
Little
not
up
knowing.
and down there on one, perhaps, for a bogey. Tiger, huh? El Tigre. How about that?
Would have been a nice save.
He's
Yeah.
back.
Dan, I don't watch golf. I watch golf 4 times a year, the majors. I've told you that since the day
don't
we
watch
started.
golf?
No, I don't. Listen, I don't care about the John Deere
What about
Classic.
the Valero?
Well, that's.
People have been yelling, you didn't know that Fincham retired in 2016.
I don't care who the
Whoa, he
commissioner
did?
is.
I'm
Yeah.
just learning this.
Timmy Fincham. I mean,
Happy trails.
yeah. That was a great run.
No, you watch Waste Management.
I
That
do
is-
watch that.
That is a party competition. And honestly, I watched the American Century Championship, which had monster ratings. There is something to, especially with the match. Maybe it's a Stugotz rub, but it had the biggest rating it had in 13 years. People want to watch celebrities play golf. It's a weird market.
Stugotz
Because I think
rub.
there's a celebrities, they're just like us element to it. You really want to see Steph Curry 3-putt because he's great at everything else in life.
Yes.
I want to see you shank one. I hit a better shot on hole 17 than Annika Sorenstam did. I felt great about
Well,
myself.
that's the beauty of golf,
It
where
is.
where a casual player occasionally could do something that the pros did.
Look how bad I
that
am.
keeps you coming back.
Listeners,
I mean, it does.
listeners, I'm a bad golfer.
You're learning, Mike.
I'm learning. I'm learning. It's okay. But I hit a shot
I know.
better than the
This guy.
greatest women's golf
Jesus.
player of all time.
Yeah.
And that is yet another story that throngs of our listeners can take inspiration from. I want those judges that tell everybody where the golf ball is going.
The tracker?
Yeah, man.
Or the people out on the course?
Both. Number one, I want the Mrs. Search party. And then I want the people with the fans in their hand telling me if it's going left or right.
You know what I learned in the airport?
What's that,
coming
Chris?
Back from Tahoe. And this might be one of those things. I've gotten pretty unpopular for some takes I've had, with walking dogs, going slow in the
grocery
fast lane.
carts.
Yeah, I've done some things, and this might fall into that category. But boarding groups, big scam.
Yeah.
They are.
If you just act confident,
Yep.
you can be any boarding group.
Yep.
They're not checking boarding groups.
a
I was
vibe.
boarding group 7 for every flight to Tahoe because I had 4 flights total.
All right.
I went in group 4 every time.
Yep. Just walk up.
I wouldn't
No
suggest
one's
going
checking.
up group
Right.
1.
Yeah.
Group 1 is like an
Too
elite
aggressive.
group.
Yeah.
But you wait group 3, group 4.
Now, if you're 4, can you go to 1?
No.
No.
No, you can never
I
go to
think-
1.
No.
4 is a safe space. If you're lower than 4, you go 4.
Three,
Just
three.
act confident and you're
It's a
there.
great
3
take.
through 7 is a free for all because if you notice, they'll give group 3 10 seconds to board.
Yes. Yes.
10
There
seconds
seems
before
to be
they.
a few amount of people in group 3 for some reason.
I'm AA priority just because of like the status. I'm always group 3, and as I'm just getting my bag settled, they're like group 4, group 5. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. So as soon as you hear like thank you, as soon as you say thank you for your service, like the military and the concierge level, then you can go.
And you do it for the carry-on space, right? Because you're worried that the carry-on space is going to fill up, and then they're going to make you check your bag. That's the reason I'm doing it. It's like if I wait for group 7, the plane's almost filled, then I might not get that carry-on space.
I'm off in group 1, and it's just there's no baggage space. What's going on with these planes?
Put it on the poll, please, Chris. What's going on with these planes, yes or no? And are groups 3 through 7 boarding a free-for-all? At Le Batard.
Free for all.
At Le Batard Show.
Just act confident, man. I'm telling
I
you.
love a
Dan's laughing that we have groups.
free-for-all expression.
Dan's
Oh,
like,
oh,
I'm carried onto the thing in like Aladdin.
I'm
where there's 4
carried
people
I'm like, you guys are
I'm
getting
carried
on
on soul.
planes with groups? Or
4
you're
people
just...
carrying like that carpet or whatever. I don't know. Like,
I asked for the Cleopatra carpet.
Yeah.
Yes. You're calling it a carpet?
I don't know. It's like a carpet on the
it's-
wooden
carpet with
you're-
handles.
No,
What
you're
the fuck
making...
is it, man? I don't know what that is. You knew what I meant.
No, wait.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know what you meant. I'd like to deconstruct. Do you have me carried to a private plane like Cleopatra
Yes.
on a? But you're saying a carpet.
Well, I imagine it was like it's a piece of wood.
He got
Obviously,
It might also.
hard.
I don't think
Got
it's.
carpet
I
on
don't
it.
think it's wood. Obviously, I'm pretty sure it was made of gold. I think, and it would have carpet on it. But I think you were conflating Cleopatra's entrance. I with a magic carpet, because I don't know why you're placing carpet on
just
this thing.
Picture a
Cushions.
fancy carpet on that
Yeah.
whatever platform they're carrying. I picture it having carpet
I
on.
believe
it.
it's called the litter from my Google search on Wikipedia because the images
And there's a
check
song
out.
playing. That's like a wedding
It's a
song.
sad
You
song.
guys figure
What
it
are
out.
you doing?
You guys leave
USC
something
over
going.
I got
I
more like
imagine
a
it like
Prince
the
Ali
theme.
vibe.
I got like a Pope vibe, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I got the
Yeah,
USC
yeah.
fight song. That's what I
That's
did.
a good one.
Chris, what was that sound? You're playing a trumpet that's announcing.
More like a bugle. I mean,
Sounds like Here Comes the Bride.
That's a song that connotes doom.
That's a funeral march.
That's a funeral march, dude.
Darth Vader.
That is not a song.
Okay, I think
Is that taps?
That connotes doom. The other one was
the marriage one also for some folks connotes doom.
I didn't say that.
Do you guys ever look around before you're getting on a plane and you're just like, I feel okay now. This doesn't look like a group that's going down.
I do.
What?
No, I do.
You look around at all
How
the
many
people,
kids
it's
is
like,
very
yeah,
important.
you ever
God
see,
wouldn't
like,
do this.
Dude, what does
Right.
what does kids have to do with the plane going down?
Listen, like God wouldn't do this to us.
If somebody looks disheveled, you're like, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what they look. I'm not talking. I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying.
It is indiscriminately a person of non-gender, but
Anyone
they
can
do
be
not have a
disheveled.
gender. They do
Anyone
not have
can
an
be disheveled.
ethnicity. I don't care. They just look disheveled. They're neutrally disheveled. It's not a white person, not a black person, not a brown person, not a woman, not a female, not a man, not nothing.
You got it.
Just
Nailed it.
disheveled. They're neutrally disheveled. Has no parts that can be judged as anything other than disheveled.
Mike Ryan was that guy coming back from Tahoe.
Oh man,
Oh boy.
yeah. That was that guy on the show. That was that guy in Tahoe. That was that guy at the Lucky Beaver.
I've never seen you like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've seen you drunk, but just not that
We
drunk.
got
Yeah.
in line for a bar and we were like, I don't think this is a strip club, but we're gonna wait in line anyways.
It was a roll of the dice when it's called the Lucky
And it
Beaver.
wasn't. It was not.
Stugotz was just roaring at the television, just shouting at the television. Tiger's got an iron, and he's on asphalt. It's the open. He was on asphalt. He was in a parking lot. It wasn't grass. Was that a
It was a street. That's what the Open
that wasn't a
Championship Home
cart-
of Golf
that
is
wasn't-
all about.
That wasn't
yeah.
a cart path.
No, he hit it from the street. Now it wasn't Tiger; it was someone else. But they were in the middle of the road, and he took out a putter, I believe, and got it up to the green. Whoever it was, but Dan, that is part of St. Andrews. You're playing around a little neighborhood because it's the home of golf. People have built houses there, and occasionally you're hitting from the street. I mean, it's unbelievable. I did that down here at North Miami Beach Country Club. I played greenie. I fudged my handicap. The second shot I hit it across the street into someone's front yard. And Greeny thought he had me. And then I came back, my third shot, little chip, okay, over the street, okay, 3 feet from the pin. Greeny calls it much the way I call Mike Ryan shot on my par 3 at my course where he broke out the driver from 113 yards. Greeny at the time said that's one of the great chips I've ever seen. I mean,
Can the room help me with something? If
It felt good.
If a notorious liar tells you fish and golf stories, fishing stories and golf stories, can you believe anything he says? If someone who you are,
No.
in fairness to me, I told this story the very next day, but I don't expect you guys to believe me or remember.
In fairness to me, whether you were telling it on a day is not evidence of whether you're lying.
It was the next day, though, Dan.
The evidence of you lying is you're speaking and I can hear you.
Totally fair. Thank you. So you're saying I'm capable of telling the same lie over multiple days. Yes. And you're right.
And taking no inventory of when you've told it or how to hide it. But I
Yeah.
think the places where you're most likely to find lies in general, even from an honest person, are golf and fishing. Are they not? golf stories or fishing stories. I had a fish on the
caught
line.
a fish this big.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to embellish a bit, though, Dan. Dan, are you intrigued? You love this because you like the anarchy. Like, you have a bunch of guys. Like, the tour is kind of, well, it's split down the middle now, where the live golfers are perceived as guys who bailed on the game. They bailed on everything. But we're about halfway through the first round right now, and you have a bunch of those golfers, like DeChambeau, like Poulter, Lee Westwood, all these guys who left the PGA Tour. They're atop the leaderboard with guys like Rory and others. You would like to see a Sunday like that, right? Where you have live golfers going against the PGA Tour golfers.
I don't know how people feel about this listening to this because I don't care very much about golf and I will only watch on the last day. And one of the things that was always happening to me at Pardon the Interruption every year when I filled in on summers is I'd get stuck with this tournament and the first day, and nothing that happens on the first day ever matters.
How
Nothing.
grateful were you for Tom Watson that one year?
No, I'm not grateful because every year there's somebody from the past who's wandering around on the first day who's not going to be there on the last day.
Ernie Els is there right now, the Big Easy. I mean,
There's always going to be somebody on the first day that people are talking about, some Greg Norman. And if your scenario plays out toward the end, I'll be interested, but you can't get me interested on the first day. You will say those, Stugotz. You were talking about embellishers, and I have found on one of your longest standing takes, one of your best takes, one of your most famous takes. I don't know what you regard your most famous takes on, but you now have a very, very famous person who is signed off on one of your most famous takes.
do I really? What a big day.
Donald Trump.
Oh,
That day just got a lot longer.
damn.
Torched Elon
He
Musk.
walked you right into that one, Stugotz.
Sure did. What a trap.
He says of Elon Musk, whether it's electric cars that don't drive long enough, driveless cars that crash, or rocket ships to nowhere, without which subsidies he'd be worthless, and telling me he was a big Trump fan and Republican, I could have said, drop to your knees and beg, and he would have done it. Now Elon should focus on getting himself out of the Twitter mess because he could owe $44 billion for something that's perhaps worthless. Also, lots of competition for electric cars. I love that he speaks like somebody who from sentence to sentence doesn't know what the last sentence was. Like
Who are we talking about? Stu or Trump?
Exactly.
well, Stugotz and Trump when
Or
they
me at 17.
Stugotz and Trump when it comes to talking have a whole lot of similarities.
Yeah, the cadence is
we do.
unmistakable.
Mhm.
Trump always takes out anyone, if you notice, anyone that's been kind of endorsing Ron DeSantis, because that kind of Republican civil war is brewing. And watch, when there is a winner, and I presume it's going to be DeSantis out of the two, even though I saw on DraftKings Sportsbook, the favorite, tells you where we are as a country, the favorite to be the next president of the United States is the person that is being actively accused of inciting an insurrection. The last election he lost. Donald Trump is the favorite.
And you should add, might be able to have a best path toward escape all time in prison by running for president.
Yeah.
You can't announce it soon enough.
Definitely
right.
pardon yourself
Yes.
at that
By,
point.
like announce
Right.
it before, announce
Yes.
it soon to topple DeSantis before it gets started.
But Mike, why do you have DeSantis winning that? I'm not even certain he'd run if he knew Trump was running.
Because you'll see, DeSantis has already been backed by Joe Rogan, and
You
Trump
have a
had
feeling too. It sounds like you have a feeling, just like Stugotz has a feeling about Tiger.
Joe Rogan and Elon
Second
Musk.
shot in the drink. I mean.
Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, who are kind of these guys that are rallied around for pushing out right-wing agendas, and we're always kind of considered those are Trump guys. They've already come out publicly, and Joe Rogan had strong words for why he didn't have Donald Trump on his podcast. Trump went after Rogan. He went after Musk. Why? Because they both have been on the record as like DeSantis guys. And that is what Donald Trump views as his real competition. Not even Joe Biden at this point. It's Ron DeSantis. Watch how Ron DeSantis plays it. He will, by comparison, appear as a moderate, and the media will eat it all up. even though Ron DeSantis is built from the same kind of foundation that Donald Trump
no,
is.
it's worse.
DeSantis is smart though.
It's
Smarter by comparison.
educated.
Guys
Again,
went to Yale and Harvard. I mean,
everything
educated.
will be by comparison to Trump, and he will appear as a moderate. And the media will help push forward this agenda by saying, look how presidential Ron DeSantis was compared to, and how can we forget January 6th and all these people that still to this day defend Donald Trump on January 6th will all of a sudden turn on him when the right-wing media decides to crown Ron DeSantis. That'll be when it's a bridge too far January 6th. Not now. Not now. It'll be then when they back DeSantis.
Meanwhile, we got falling off a bike and end quote, repeat the statement. We've got Ron Burgundy reading prompter.
It ain't great if you were looking at like the available options. It hasn't been great. I voted for Joe Biden. Not happy. It hasn't worked out so far.
But that's not what people were voting for. They weren't voting for
No, they were
Joe
voting
Biden.
for just
they
anybody
were
but
voting against,
normalcy.
against Donald Trump.
Well, we're not there yet. To change the topic, because I know I lost a few of you, I put together a top 5 list. Top 5 drunkest I've ever been at a sporting event.
Wow, those would be safeties, but this is better.
Those are different than top 5 just drunkest I've ever been.
Yeah, totally different.
That's a totally different list.
Totally different. I think only one sporting event makes it top 5 drunkest I've ever been, and it'd be the number 1 on this list.
Padraig Harrington climbing up the leaderboard early. I
Patty.
mean, he's old. He's won a couple of majors, but that's what the Open Championship of the home of golf is all about. You hit it off a road, and then boom, Patty Harrington is -2 after a couple of holes. This is so great. What a weekend.
Number 5.
You into it?
Number 5. The 2021 Chick-fil-A kickoff between Miami and Alabama.
Oh, wow. Got lit for that one, huh?
Number 4. The 2018 Kickoff Classic between Miami and LSU in AT&T Stadium.
Is that the one where you were wearing a big cowboy hat?
Yes, it was.
What year was that?
Big
2018.
Big orange. It's not just a big cowboy hat. It's a giant orange foam.
You look ridiculous.
foam
Yeah.
cowboy
He's
hat.
drunk.
And those that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Guess what's making the trip to College Station this year? Green cowboy hats.
Giant
gotta change
green
it up.
foam.
That will be in the top 5 when you do this again
Oh my
next
God,
year, right?
what else
Yes.
is there to do in that town?
Russian Spurs.
Number 3. This may surprise you. The American Century Championship 2022, hole 17.
Not if you were there.
Do you know the last 3 digits of your social security? Number 2, WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. I was told that Brock Lesnar ended the Undertaker streak. Don't really have much of a memory of it. And number 1, FSU Miami 2012.
Wow.
No, this was, I believe this was Stephen Morris. I was carried out on a cooler the way that you allege Dan gets carried to his private planes. So a white cooler, 2 people holding each side.
The long ones, right?
Yeah,
They're
the
like 6
long,
feet long.
the industrial size cooler.
Were you laying down?
Laying down, devastated that Miami had once again lost to FSU. 2012, Miami FSU number 1.
Stugotz doesn't often do what he did today, which is he walks in and he's like, Dan, you remember that thing that we talked about yesterday about Adam Schefter? I've read the story now. I have some thoughts.
What were yesterday?
Yeah, well,
I forget what I said
was him
yesterday.
not reading the story or having some thoughts. Today, he's now got some thoughts. Those thoughts are what?
Adam Schefter, after reading the story, and I apologize for commenting on this before I read the
Hey, why
story.
would you apologize
I
as
don't
if
know.
that's something
Weird.
you're going to do differently next time?
I just want to start by saying I have a friendship with Adam Schefter. I think he's a kind and decent man. And has he, like just about everyone out there, made some mistakes along the way while doing his job? Yes, he has. And I believe he's acknowledged that he's made some mistakes, and hopefully that will make him a better reporter and a better person. But Dan, I think, would back me up on him as a person. He is fundamentally a good person.
Yes, he is.
He's a hardworking man. He does his job very well. Now, you might question, and people are, the way he goes about doing his job, but ESPN.
And Stugotz, they are two different things. Someone can be a kind and fundamentally decent person that you like because you know him personally and still be worthy of withering criticism because they have done X, Y, and Z wrong. Those two things, like you can preface what you're saying with all those things. All those things are true to us. We love Adam Schefter.
Yes.
We wouldn't have very much bad to say about Adam Schefter, but now this was an examination of his work.
I understand that. And for the most part, now there have been some bad examples as of late, and maybe there are more out there. I have no idea. But he's made some mistakes. He's talked about them. He's apologized for them. And I think it will ultimately make Adam Schefter a better reporter and a better person. But he already is fundamentally a good person. Journalism is changing. Like ESPN knows all this about Adam Schefter and still gave him the contract that they gave him.
I wouldn't say is changing. I would say
It's changed.
has already changed.
It has already changed. And so when I read the story and hear the quotes, like old journalism, it has changed, and either change with it or get left behind. I don't know what to tell you, because Adam Schefter has chosen to roll with how journalism is. And really what you're upset about is you are jealous that this man is getting paid so much for being a better salesman than you, because life is a sale. And Adam Schefter treats each one of these NFL teams like a client, like an account. And he goes into that account and he finds a person that's very important, a credible person, and he forms a great relationship with that person. And that person or people give him fantastic information that I, for one, covet, crave, and want. And Adam Schefter does a very good job of getting that information to me. And so it seems like we're getting upset because a guy is hustling more than you are, doing a better job of selling himself than you are. And I don't really care what old journalists have to say about the way Adam Schefter is going about doing his job. He's doing what he has to do for himself, for his family, for his profession, for his employer, to get access to the biggest sport that we pay attention to. And I just can't believe at a time where our schools are under attack. I'm serious, Dan. Our democracy is under attack. There is a global pandemic, a war in the Ukraine, and Elon Musk, that people actually have time to care about Adam Schefter and how it is he goes about getting his NFL news. Get over it and move on. And the people inside of ESPN who are taking Schefter out, too bad. He's better at his job than you are. And you're clinging on to something that no longer exists. Keep clinging on to it because you're going to lose. And Adam Schefter is going to sit there laughing while winning.
He's already won. I am one of these old journalists you speak of.
I was speaking to you.
Am I allowed to be critical of him without being jealous? Like, am I allowed or no? I have to be jealous in order to be critical of the work?
No, you can be critical because I know you, Dan, and you care about journalism and the principles of journalism and how it is someone goes about getting their information. You care about that stuff deeply.
Well,
you always have and you always will.
But I also want it to be true, and I don't want to be watching television and have Woj reporting that Simmons isn't going to be traded and Harden isn't going to be traded while Windhorse is reporting that they are, and I don't know what to believe. I'd like to believe in truth, Stugotz. Like, I'd like to believe that my information, the way that it's getting to me, is the least conflicted possible, even understanding that today more than ever, it is hard to find relationships that don't have conflicts.
But Dan, to have these people like anonymous sources, first off, put your name on it. I'm tired of the anonymous. Like, put your name on it. You have a problem with Schefter, you have a contract at ESPN, put your name on it. Say it. Say what you want to say and attribute it to yourself.
Well, but that would be, I agreed, but can you imagine Kevin Nagandi said of Adam Schefter? Like, okay, you want that, but yeah.
Well, listen, all of the, whoever said it.
Sorry, Nagandi.
At some point, it was so unfair of you to do. He's the nicest man on the planet. Why'd you choose him?
I'm not saying it's him.
I think it was Randy.
Who was it?
Randy Scott.
No, it wasn't.
Who was most likely to do it?
I know. Now I want to turn it into
Let's
a
just
game.
say a bunch of names.
Turn it into a game of Clue. Why'd you do that, L. Duncan?
Not Tony Collins.
I don't understand what Stugotz is doing, because yesterday you were ripping Woj.
He hadn't
I read
it.
the story.
He
No, but
hadn't
you
read
ripped
it.
Woj, but now you're okay with Adam Schefter.
He's
like,
friends with Adam.
He likes Schefter.
Well, listen, with Woj, no. Like with Woj.
Because you just said, hey, everybody.
Again, I'll say
Schefter's
this.
just better
No.
at this than you. Couldn't you say that same thing about NBA? Like, sorry, Woj is just better at this.
Yeah, but I don't think Schefter is intimidating Chris Mortensen, right? And making Mort feel like he can't report stuff, or making other NFL reporters, if indeed that's true, about Woj.
An important thing.
Okay, yeah, if indeed all of this is true, I don't feel like Schefter is kind of like, hey, this is my turf, this is my territory. If you can go into Denver and get a better source than I can, go ahead. But we're getting mad because Adam Schefter sending people gift baskets. That's what you do for a client. These people are clients to Adam Schefter.
It's $16,000
When
a
Murray
year.
used to spend millions of dollars with me every single year on muni bonds, I send him a little gift basket around the holidays. It's what you do.
It's a great
It's how you keep
detail
Murray around.
in the story, though. $16,000 of chocolate is either really great chocolate or he's got so many sources.
You, Dan, find a Murray that will spend $16 million on munis. You'll send them anything.
I think Schefter's sources are right now saying $16,000 in chocolates, and what I imagine is Sean McVay holding up like a bunch of red vines and being like, "What kind of bullshit is this, Schefter?"